you know, guys, I made a long video about this with what Xbox, and why them doing this. It really sucks, for a lot of developers who lost their jobs and all of those things. But I found it to be I found it to be a good thing for Xbox in a couple of ways, because think of it like this, guys. Let's just say all of you that are in the chat right now, let me give you guys a scenario. Let's say all of us are working at Undead Labs and we're all working on State of Decay 3, right? And every single time that we finish something, let's say we finish a certain mission, right? Say there's a mission in the game and we finally finished it. And we sent it up to the higher ups at Undead Labs and they approved it. They look at it. They're like, you know what? This is awesome, guys. We're going to send it off to Xbox now and let them review it. Well, then it goes to an executive at Xbox. They look at it, they critique it or whatever. Then they send it off to another executive, and you have all these layers that it has to get to for approval. And that can take a few months, maybe even longer, for that one mission to get approved or denied by the higher ups at Xbox. Well, Phil Spencer, what he did was, and what Xbox did, they certainly cut a lot of jobs. But a lot of those jobs were actually leadership positions, executive positions. So I look at it like, if you're cutting a lot of the executive positions at Xbox Game Studios, it's a good thing. Because now, if we finish a mission, maybe we only have to go a couple of layers of management. Maybe we don't have to go 10 layers of management. Now we go 2 layers of management to get approvals on certain missions or certain, whether it's a perk system, a horde mode, multiplayer, things of that nature. Because Xbox, obviously owning the IP, they want to see what the folks at Undead Labs is working on. And so when you have less people that you have to get approvals from, that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. So I look at it like, it sucks that some of the developers lost their jobs. I think it's awful and it sucks. But a lot of the executives lost their jobs too. And I think that now we should have a better, it's a better roadmap, essentially, in my personal opinion, because Xbox's problem is they're stretching themselves too thin, where they've got so many projects, all these studios, and they're allowing games to be in development for 10 years, and they still don't see the light of day. Like Everwild, for example. Everwild was in development, guys, for like 10 years, bro. Listen, from a business perspective, if I'm Xbox, I'm like, dude, what are you guys doing over there? 10 years? Bro, we have to pay salaries. We have to pay for the engine, to all these different, the entire list of things that Xbox is paying for. And sure, it's a tough decision to pull the plug, but it's like, dude, if you guys don't have anything and you've been given 10 years of a salary or whatever to work on this game, bro, I mean, I would be looking at it the same way, right? I would be like, dude, because I've been invested in the stock market for a long time, guys, and I look at it like, bro, if you're not getting a return on your investment and really the progress, it's not there or whatever, and the direction isn't there, there's creative differences, development hell cycles. I mean, at some point, you got to pull the plug. And Perfect Dark, apparently the gameplay we saw for Perfect Dark was completely fake. I don't know. There were people who got fired from, what was it, The Initiative, that stated that what was shown off was real. But I'm just saying, I look at it as a lot of these studios are in these development hell cycles, not just because of themselves, but because of the issues at Xbox with the executives. Think of it like this. If you're an executive at Xbox and you want to push a certain agenda, when you get something across your table like a mission from State of Decay 3 and you're like, yeah, this doesn't follow my agenda. Yeah, you guys got to redo it. You guys got to change it. Or let's say, for example, that person did like it, but then the next executive didn't. So you have all these different opinions, agendas, and things of that nature, where these games just go into these development hell cycles. So I'm kind of going on a rant a little bit about it, guys, but I made a whole video talking about this. I believe that although it sucked that Xbox did that, I think now we're going to get more games completed quicker. Time will tell, but I don't know. You have to realize it's not, if something's not working, it's not working, and you need to pivot and change it. And I look at like State of Decay 3, for example, you have the Coalition who work on the Gears of War series. They're now working and helping Undead Labs. Obsidian, the guys who do Grounded, the Outer Worlds, they're helping State of Decay 3 and Undead Labs. So what does that tell you about Undead Labs? Either they're short-staffed, or they don't really have a good direction, or they plain out need help. And as a studio, if you can't handle that kind of shit internally, there's some problems. Whether it's creative differences, development hell cycles, issues with the higher-ups at Xbox, issues with the higher-ups at Undead Labs. There's been a number of people that were a part of Undead Labs that stated that, or former employees that were saying that State of Decay 3, or I really should say Undead Labs as a whole, had issues. Yeah, State of Decay 3, it's been in this development cycle, I mean, for a long time. Because if you think about it, State of Decay 3's first trailer came out in 2020, and I know like there's a lot of talk that, you know, Undead Labs didn't do that trailer and stuff, but it's just the fact of the matter that it's been, you know, obviously they had some movement going for the game, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're having these development hell issues, probably issues with the higher-ups over at Xbox. It's hard to say, but nonetheless, yeah, I think that more than likely, I thought it was going to be early 2026. I think it's going to be fall of 2026 or 2027.